Every day, we make choices that shape our lives, how we speak, manage our emotions, handle our finances, and control our minds. These 4 areas have a direct impact on our success and happiness. What if you could take control of them and transform your life? In this video, we'll explore practical ways to master your mouth, mood, money, and mind. You'll learn how to speak with intention, manage your emotions, make smarter financial decisions, and think clearly to stay focused on your goals. This isn't just motivation, this is about giving you the tools to change your life right now. Stick with me, and let's take control of these key areas together, one step at a time. Let's begin. Chapter 1. Master your mouth. The power of your words. Your words are the architects of your reality. Every sentence you speak, every phrase you repeat, every whisper you let slip into the universe is shaping the life you live. Some people blame fate, luck, or circumstances for where they are, but the truth is, much of it starts with the words they've been speaking every single day. The way you talk to yourself, the things you say about others, the way you describe your future, it all carries power. And the most successful, disciplined, and unstoppable people in the world, they understand that words aren't just sounds, they are seeds. They either plant a garden of greatness or a forest of destruction. Think about this. Every word you've ever spoken has either built you up or torn you down. Maybe you've been saying things like, "I'm not good enough," or "I'll never make it," without even realizing that you're programming your brain to accept failure before you've even started. That stops today, right now. Because once you learn how to control your mouth, you take control of your future. And let me tell you something, when you master your words, you master your world. Most people speak without thinking. They say whatever comes to mind, react emotionally, complain about things they don't even want to change, and wonder why their life never improves. But let's be real, how can you expect to have a strong mind, unshakable confidence, and unstoppable success if you're constantly speaking words of doubt, fear, and negativity? The truth is, what you say becomes what you believe. What you believe becomes how you act. And how you act determines your results. That's why successful people speak with precision, power, and purpose. They don't waste their breath on excuses, gossip, or self-pity. They speak life into themselves and others, and the universe responds. You need to understand that your words are shaping your emotions, your mindset, and your habits. If you constantly say, "I'm tired," guess what? You'll feel more exhausted. If you keep saying, "I can't do this," your brain will shut down and stop looking for solutions. But when you start saying, "I am strong," "I always figure things out," "I am built for success," something shifts. Your energy changes. Your focus sharpens. Your actions follow your words. And that's where transformation begins. Think about how many times you've spoken something into existence without realizing it. Have you ever said, "I always get sick during this season," and then you guessed it, you got sick? Or maybe you've said, "I never have enough money," and sure enough, you always find yourself struggling. These aren't coincidences. Your words are creating your reality. The problem is, most people don't recognize it. They think words are just words, but they're not. They're commands. They're blueprints for your future. And if you keep speaking in ways that limit you, you will stay limited. Now I know some people will say, "But it's just the way I talk, it doesn't mean anything." That's a lie. It does mean something. Your brain is always listening. Every word you speak reinforces a belief. If you constantly say, "I'm not good at relationships," your mind starts believing that, and you subconsciously sabotage every connection you make. If you keep saying, "I'm unlucky," you'll ignore opportunities right in front of you. But when you start saying, "I create my own luck," suddenly you begin seeing possibilities that you were blind to before. Here's what you need to do starting today. First, eliminate negativity from your speech. No more "I can't," "I'm not good enough," or "this always happens to me." Those phrases are banned. Replace them with "I am capable," "I am improving every day," and "I create my own success." At first it might feel weird. Your old habits will try to pull you back. But the more you practice, the more natural it becomes, and soon you won't even have to think about it. You'll just be speaking power into existence without even trying. Second, stop engaging in toxic conversations. Gossip, complaints and drama, cut them out. Successful people don't waste time talking about other people's failures or problems. They talk about ideas, solutions and progress. If you surround yourself with people who are always negative, always blaming others, always speaking failure into their lives, guess what? That energy will infect you. But when you choose to be around people who speak success, who encourage growth, who challenge you to think bigger, you'll start rising to their level. Third, learn the power of silence. Not every thought needs to be spoken. Not every argument needs a response. Sometimes the most powerful thing you can do is say nothing at all. Think before you speak. Ask yourself, is this true? Is this necessary? Is this helpful? If the answer is no, don't say it. Words are like arrows. Once released, they can't be taken back. So use them wisely. And finally, speak life into your future. Every morning, start your day with powerful affirmations. I am focused. I am disciplined. I am in control of my destiny. Say them out loud. Feel them. Believe them. Because when you start your day with intention, you set the tone for everything that follows. You'll carry that energy into your work, your relationships and your goals. And trust me, when you combine the right words with the right actions, nothing can stop you. The people who truly change their lives are the ones who take responsibility for what they speak. They don't blame others. They don't play the victim. They don't let negative words run wild in their minds or out of their mouths. They take control. They choose their words carefully. They speak with power, purpose, and precision. And because of that, their entire reality shifts. So now, it's your turn. No more careless speech. No more negative self-talk. No more conversations that drag you down. From this moment on, every word you speak will be intentional. Every phrase will be aligned with the future you want to create. You have the power to reprogram your mind, elevate your life, and transform your destiny. One word at a time. It all starts with mastering your mouth. And once you do that, the rest of your life will follow. Chapter 2. Control your mood, emotional intelligence, and stability. Your emotions are either your greatest weapon or your biggest weakness. The way you handle your mood determines the way you handle your life. Every decision, every relationship, every opportunity you encounter will either be built or destroyed based on how well you can control your emotions. The people who master their moods are the ones who win in life. The ones who let their emotions control them. They stay stuck, reacting to everything instead of creating the life they want. Think about it. How many times have you said something in anger that you later regretted? How many moments have you wasted feeling frustrated over things that didn't even matter in the long run? How often have you let a single bad mood ruin an entire day? The truth is, most people live their lives as prisoners to their emotions, letting their mood dictate their actions instead of using their mind to take control. But here's what separates successful people from everyone else. They don't let temporary emotions make permanent decisions. If you want to take your life to the next level, you have to stop letting your emotions dictate your actions. You can't afford to let a bad morning turn into a bad day into a bad week, and a bad week into a bad life. The people who get ahead in this world are the ones who know how to manage their mood, keep their emotions in check, and respond with power instead of reacting out of weakness. This isn't about suppressing your emotions, it's about mastering them. It's about feeling everything, but not letting those feelings take control. Because the moment you let your emotions drive, you hand over the keys to your future. There will always be things that try to trigger you, people who test your patience, situations that make you feel overwhelmed. But how you respond to them is what defines you. Weak people react without thinking. Strong people pause, assess, and choose their response wisely. And make no mistake, this is a skill. It's something you can train. If you don't control your mood will control you. And when your mood controls you, it dictates the way you think, the way you speak, and the way you act. That means one bad emotion can sabotage your entire day, your relationships, and your future. But when you take control, when you train yourself to respond instead of react, everything in your life changes. Most people don't realize that their emotions are being manipulated all day long. Every news headline is designed to provoke fear or anger. Social media is set up to trigger envy or frustration. The world is constantly trying to pull you in 100 different directions emotionally. But when you build emotional discipline, you become untouchable. You stop reacting to every little thing. You stop wasting energy on things you can't control. You start focusing on what really matters. Mastering your emotions doesn't mean you won't feel things. It means you won't be ruled by them. It means you won't let temporary anger make you say something you regret. It means you won't let fear stop you from taking action. It means you won't let sadness keep you from moving forward. The strongest people in the world aren't the ones who never feel. They're the ones who feel everything and still choose to act with power. It starts with awareness. You need to recognize when your mood is shifting before it takes control. Pay attention to what triggers you. Notice when certain situations or people cause you to react. The more aware you become, the more power you have. Because once you recognize the pattern, you can break it. You can pause. You can breathe. You can make a conscious choice instead of reacting on autopilot. That's how you take back control. And let's be real, your mood affects everything. The way you treat people, the way you show up in your work, the way you see yourself. If you're always irritated, always stressed, always feeling like a victim, how can you expect to build a strong, successful life? If you're always complaining, always looking for reasons to be upset, how can you expect to attract anything good? The energy you put out is the energy you get back. When you learn to control your mood, you raise your energy, and when you raise your energy, you attract better things into your life. You need to stop being controlled by every little inconvenience. Someone cut you off in traffic. Who cares? Someone said something rude. Let it go. Your day isn't ruined because of one moment. Your emotions don't have to be dictated by outside forces. You are in control, and the more you remind yourself of that, the stronger you become. The world is full of people who let their emotions run their lives, but that's not you. You're not here to be controlled by moods. You're here to take charge of your own destiny. Start training yourself today. The next time you feel anger rising, stop, breathe, The next time frustration kicks in, remind yourself that you have the power to choose how you respond. The next time you feel down, don't let it consume you. Get up, move, shift your focus. Every time you take control of your mood, you're building a stronger, more disciplined mind. And the stronger your mind, the more unstoppable you become. This is how you win in life. Not by letting emotions dictate your actions, but by training yourself to rise above them. The moment you master your mood, you master yourself. And when you master yourself, nothing can stop you. Chapter 3. Master your money. Financial discipline and freedom. Money is either your greatest tool or your biggest trap. It builds empires, funds dreams, and creates opportunities. But it also destroys lives, fuels stress, and keeps people trapped in cycles of struggle. The difference between those who thrive financially and those who constantly feel like they're drowning in money problems isn't luck, it isn't fate, it's discipline, it's mindset, it's the ability to master your money before it masters you. Because here's the truth: if you don't control your money will control you. Most people never learn financial discipline. They live paycheck to paycheck, spend impulsively, and wonder why they never seem to get ahead. They blame the economy, their job, their upbringing, anything but themselves. But the real reason most people stay broke isn't their income, it's their habits. It's the way they think about money, the way they handle it, the way they allow it to slip through their fingers without a plan. You have to wake up to the reality that financial success isn't about how much you make. It's about how well you manage what you have. You've seen it before. Athletes who make millions and go bankrupt. Celebrities who earn fortunes and end up broke. People who win the lottery and somehow lose it all within a few years. Why? Because money without discipline is just an illusion of wealth. It comes and goes like the wind. The only way to truly build financial security is to become the master of your money. That means making smart choices, thinking long-term, and developing habits that lead to financial freedom instead of financial frustration. The first step is understanding that your money is a reflection of your mindset. If you see money as something that's scarce, something that's hard to get, something that always slips away, then that belief will control the way you handle it. But if you see money as a tool, something that can work for you, grow for you, and give you more freedom, then everything changes. The way you think about money affects every financial decision you make. If you believe you'll always be broke, you'll spend like someone who's always broke. If you believe you can create wealth, you'll start making moves like someone who builds wealth. Financial success isn't about luck, it's about habits. The small choices you make every day are shaping your financial future. Every time you spend without thinking, every time you put off saving, every time you ignore your finances because it feels overwhelming, you're making a choice, and those choices add up. The difference between the person who's stressed about money and the person who's financially free isn't that one of them got lucky, it's that one of them took control. Most people think financial discipline is about restriction, about cutting back, about living a life of sacrifice. But that's the wrong way to look at it. Financial discipline isn't about having less, it's about having more control, more freedom, more options. When you control your money, you get to make choices based on what you want, not just what you can afford in the moment. You don't have to stay stuck in a job you hate. You don't have to panic every time an unexpected bill shows up. You don't have to feel trapped by financial stress, because when you have financial discipline, you have power. The key is learning how to manage money in a way that sets you up for success instead of survival. That means learning how to save, how to invest, how to control your spending, how to stop wasting money on things that don't matter. It means thinking long-term instead of short-term. Most people live for the moment when it comes to money. They think about today, this week, maybe this month. But the people who build financial freedom, they think about the next 5 years, 10 years, 20 years. They make decisions today that their future selves will thank them for. Money isn't something you should fear, it's something you should master. It's not about working harder, it's about working smarter. You can spend your entire life trading time for money, or you can learn how to make your money work for you. That's the difference between people who stay stuck and people who break free. The ones who stay stuck are always chasing money. The ones who break free build systems that allow money to flow into their lives without constantly grinding for it. So the question is, are you in control of your money, or is your money controlling you? Are you making conscious decisions about where your money goes, or are you just hoping there's enough left at the end of the month? Are you using money as a tool to create freedom, or is it keeping you trapped in a cycle of stress and survival? These are the questions you need to ask yourself if you want to shift your financial reality. Starting today, you have to stop making excuses. Stop saying you don't make enough to save. Stop saying you'll start managing your money later. Stop acting like financial discipline is something you'll deal with when you're older or when you make more money. Because if you can't manage a little, you won't be able to manage a lot. If you don't build the habits now, you'll never have control over your finances. And if you never have control, you'll always be at the mercy of money instead of making it work for you. Make a decision right now that from this point forward you are in control. Every dollar has a purpose. Every spending choice is intentional. Every financial move is made with discipline. Because when you take charge of your money, you take charge of your future. And when you take charge of your future, nothing can stop you. Chapter 4. Sharpen your mind. Think like a winner. Your mind is either your greatest asset or your biggest enemy. It is the foundation of everything you do, every success you achieve, and every failure you experience. The way you think determines the way you live. If your mind is weak, your life will be weak. If your mind is sharp, disciplined, and focused, your life will reflect that strength in every single area. The people who rise to the top, who create unstoppable success, who overcome every obstacle, they aren't just lucky. They think differently. They train their minds to work for them, not against them. Most people never take control of their own thoughts. They let their minds wander, reacting to every little distraction, feeding every negative emotion, drowning in self-doubt, and getting trapped in overthinking. They don't even realize that their thoughts are shaping their entire reality. Every decision, every action, every opportunity you take or miss, it all starts in your mind. The way you think about yourself, the way you think about challenges, the way you think about your future, it all determines where you will end up. The truth is, you can have all the talent in the world, but if your mind is weak, if your thoughts are filled with excuses, negativity and fear, you will never get to where you want to be. Talent means nothing without the right mindset. Hard work means nothing if you don't believe in yourself. No amount of motivation will save you if you don't train your mind to be disciplined, resilient, and laser-focused. Your mind is a weapon, but only if you know how to use it. If you don't sharpen it, if you don't control it, if you don't train it, it will become dull, weak, and useless. People who succeed at the highest level don't think like everyone else. They don't waste time on negativity. They don't let fear control them. They don't entertain weak thoughts, and they don't allow distractions to pull them off course. They don't sit around waiting for the right moment or the perfect opportunity. They don't make excuses. They decide what they want, they set their mind on it, and they attack it with relentless focus. That is the kind of mindset you need if you want to win in life. If you want to sharpen your mind, you have to stop letting garbage in. What you feed your mind is just as important as what you feed your body. If you consume negativity all day, if you surround yourself with weak-minded people, if you let your emotions control you, your mind will become a mess. You cannot expect to think like a winner if you are constantly filling your mind with fear, doubt, and distractions. You need to protect your mind like your life depends on it, because it does. Start paying attention to what you allow into your head. Cut out the negativity. Stop wasting time on pointless drama, toxic people, and useless distractions. Stop watching things that make you feel weaker instead of stronger. Stop scrolling through social media, comparing your life to people who aren't even living the way they pretend to be. Stop letting other people's opinions shape how you see yourself. If you wouldn't let someone dump trash into your home, why would you let them dump garbage into your mind? Once you start protecting your mind, you need to start training it. Just like your body needs exercise, your mind needs discipline. That means pushing yourself to think in ways that make you stronger. Every time you feel fear creeping in, every time doubt tries to stop you, every time you catch yourself making excuses, shut it down. Replace those weak thoughts with powerful ones. Instead of thinking, "I can't do this," train your mind to say, "I will figure it out." Instead of focusing on problems, force your mind to look for solutions. Instead of worrying about failure, focus on what you can control and take action. This kind of mindset doesn't happen overnight. It takes work. It takes discipline. It takes an unbreakable commitment to being better, thinking sharper, and refusing to let anything hold you back. You have to wake up every day and train your mind like an athlete trains their body. You have to challenge yourself. You have to push past mental limits. You have to demand more from yourself than the average person does. When you train your mind, everything in your life changes. You stop reacting emotionally to things that don't matter. You stop wasting time on things that drain you. You stop letting fear stop you from taking action. You become focused, disciplined, and unstoppable, and when you reach that level, there is nothing you cannot achieve. Your mind is your most powerful weapon, but only if you sharpen it. Only if you take control. Only if you train it to think like a winner. Because once your mind is strong, once your mindset is unshakable, you become unstoppable, and when you become unstoppable, there is no limit to what you can do. Chapter 5: The Discipline of Daily Improvement. Success isn't built in a day. It's not one big moment, not a lucky break, not a single decision that changes everything. It's built in the small, consistent actions you take every single day. The people who rise to the top don't get there overnight. They get there because they commit to improving themselves every single day, no matter what. They understand that progress is a game of inches, and the ones who are willing to push forward, step by step, day by day, are the ones who win in the end. Most people fail because they rely on motivation. They wait until they feel like doing something. They wait for inspiration. They wait for the perfect moment. But the truth is, motivation is unreliable. It comes and goes like the wind. You can't depend on it because there will be days when you don't feel like showing up, when you don't feel like putting in the work, when you don't feel like pushing yourself. And that's exactly where discipline separates the winners from everyone else. Discipline is doing what needs to be done, even when you don't feel like doing it. It's the ability to push through discomfort, to stick to the plan, to keep showing up, even when your mind is screaming for an excuse to quit. Because here's the thing, if you only take action when you feel like it, you'll never be consistent. And if you're not consistent, you will never see results. The people who achieve greatness aren't superhuman, they just refuse to negotiate with their excuses. They don't wait for the perfect mood, the perfect time, or the perfect circumstances. They take action every single day, no matter what. The biggest lie people tell themselves is that they'll start tomorrow. That tomorrow they'll be more disciplined, more focused, more ready, but tomorrow turns into next week, next month, next year. And before they know it, they're looking back on their life, wondering where all the time went. The only time that matters is right now. If you want to change, if you want to improve, if you want to build something great, you start today. Not when it's convenient, not when it's comfortable. Right now, daily improvement isn't about massive changes. It's not about doing something extreme for a few days and then burning out. It's about small, consistent actions that compound over time. It's about setting a standard for yourself and refusing to settle for anything less. It's about demanding more from yourself every single day. It's about developing habits that push you forward instead of holding you back. Most people underestimate the power of small improvements. They think that if they don't see instant results, it's not working. But success is like a tree. You plant the seed, you water it, you take care of it, and for a long time you see nothing. But beneath the surface, growth is happening. And one day, that seed breaks through the soil and turns into something strong, something unshakable. That's how progress works. It's slow at first, it's invisible. But if you stay disciplined, if you keep showing up, if you refuse to quit, you will wake up one day and realize that you have built something unstoppable. The key is to focus on what you can control. You can't control the results. You can't control how fast things happen. But you can control your effort. You can control your attitude. You can control your actions. And when you commit to taking control of those things, the results will take care of themselves. You don't need to be perfect. You don't need to have it all figured out. You just need to be better than you were yesterday. 1% better. A little stronger. A little wiser. A little more disciplined. Because over time, those small improvements add up to something massive. Most people never reach their full potential because they quit too soon. They get frustrated when they don't see immediate results. They expect success to happen overnight. But the ones who succeed, the ones who break through, the ones who achieve what others only dream of, they don't stop. They don't make excuses. They don't let setbacks break them. They keep moving forward, no matter what. Every single day is an opportunity to improve, to grow, to move closer to the life you want. But it's up to you to take advantage of it. It's up to you to make the decision that you will no longer live on autopilot, that you will no longer settle for less, that you will no longer wait for things to magically change. Because nothing changes unless you do. The discipline of daily improvement isn't easy. It requires sacrifice. It requires focus. It requires pushing past the urge to be lazy, to procrastinate, to make excuses. But once you commit to it, once you make it a way of life, you will become unstoppable. Because the person who improves every single day is the person who cannot be beaten. And when you reach that level, when you wake up every day knowing that you are better than you were yesterday, Success isn't just possible, it's inevitable. Chapter 6. The Art of Self-Control and Decision-Making. Every great achievement, every strong empire, every unshakable leader, behind them all is one powerful force: self-control. The ability to master yourself, to regulate your emotions, to think clearly under pressure, to make decisions that align with your goals instead of your impulses. This is what separates those who succeed from those who remain stuck. The truth is, your success, your happiness, your future, it's all determined by the level of control you have over yourself. Without discipline, without self-control, without the ability to make the right choices even when they're difficult, you will always be at the mercy of your emotions, your circumstances, and your environment. Most people live reactively. They let their emotions dictate their actions. They allow their impulses to take over. They get angry and lash out. They feel lazy and procrastinate. They crave pleasure and chase short-term gratification, even when they know it will hurt them in the long run. But the people who master themselves, the people who develop ironclad self-control, they don't live like that. They make decisions based on their long-term goals, not their temporary feelings. They stay calm when others panic. They stay focused when others get distracted. They stay disciplined when others give in. Your emotions are powerful, but they are not always right. They will tell you to quit when things get tough. They will tell you to take the easy route instead of the right one. They will try to control you, to manipulate you, to steer you away from the path you know you should be on. And if you don't learn to control them, they will control you. The greatest battles you will ever fight are not against other people, not against the world, but against yourself. Against the part of you that wants comfort over growth. The part of you that chooses excuses over effort. The part of you that fears change, fears challenge, fears discomfort. Every decision you make is shaping your future. The food you eat, the thoughts you allow in your mind, the actions you take, the habits you repeat, each one is leading you somewhere. And if you don't take control of your decisions, your life will be controlled by randomness, by circumstance, by whatever happens to you instead of what you choose to make happen. The difference between winners and everyone else is that winners don't let their feelings decide their future. They don't act based on what's easy. They act based on what's necessary. Think about the most successful, disciplined, powerful people in the world. They all have one thing in common: self-mastery. The ability to think instead of react. To delay gratification instead of chasing temporary pleasure. To make hard decisions instead of avoiding them. To take responsibility for their lives instead of blaming others. And the truth is, you are capable of that same level of mastery. It's not about talent, it's not about luck, it's about practice. Training your mind, training your emotions, training your actions, until self-control becomes your default state. But here's where most people get it wrong. They think self-control is about forcing themselves to do things they don't want to do. They think it's about constant struggle, about fighting their instincts, about making life harder for themselves. That's not it at all. Real self-control is about creating a life where discipline becomes natural, where good decisions become automatic, where you don't have to rely on willpower because your habits, your environment, your mindset, they all support your success. It's about making small, smart choices consistently until they become who you are. Self-control is not about suppression, it's about direction. It's not about denying yourself everything. It's about choosing what truly matters over what's easy in the moment. It's about rewiring your brain so that the right choices feel right, so that doing the hard thing becomes second nature. And the more you practice it, the stronger it gets. Every time you resist temptation, Every time you stay disciplined, every time you choose growth over comfort, you are training yourself to become stronger. And that strength compounds. Imagine what would happen if you truly mastered yourself. If you could control your thoughts instead of letting them control you. If you could make the best decision in every situation, even when it was hard. If you could discipline yourself to stay focused, stay consistent, stay hungry for success no matter what. How different would your life be? How much further would you go? That level of self-mastery is not something reserved for a select few. It's something you can build, something you can develop, something you can train every single day. And it starts with awareness. Most people don't even realize how much their impulses are controlling them. They don't recognize how often they are acting out of emotion instead of logic. They don't see the patterns that are holding them back. But once you become aware, once you start paying attention to the way you react, the way you think, the way you make decisions, you gain power. You realize that you don't have to give in to every craving, every urge, every emotional reaction. You can step back. You can pause. You can choose. That small pause, that moment between feeling and action, that is where your power lies. That is where you take control. When you feel the urge to procrastinate, but instead you take action. When you feel anger rising, but instead you respond with logic and calmness. When you feel the temptation to quit, but instead you push forward. These moments add up. They build resilience. They build character. They build a version of you that is unstoppable. At the core of self-control is one simple truth. You either control your mind, or your mind controls you. You either lead your life with discipline, or your emotions and impulses will lead it for you. And the cost of losing that control is everything. Because every moment of weakness, every excuse, every bad habit repeated over time, it all compounds, it all leads somewhere. And if you don't take control now, if you don't make the decision to master yourself, you will look back one day and realize that you built a life you didn't choose, a life dictated by distractions, bad habits, and wasted time. But here's the good news, you can change that. Starting today. You don't have to be perfect. You don't have to get it all right immediately. You just have to start. You just have to commit to small daily improvements, to making better choices, to being more disciplined, to taking control of your actions, your emotions, your mind. Because the moment you decide to take control, the moment you commit to mastering yourself, is the moment your entire life begins to change. Chapter 7. Building Unbreakable Confidence. Confidence isn't something you're born with. It's not a magical trait some people have, while others are left without. Confidence is earned. It's built. It's cultivated through action, persistence, and the will to keep moving forward, even when the odds are stacked against you. If you're waiting for confidence to just appear one day, you'll be waiting forever. It's not a feeling that comes to you by chance, nor is it something that's given to you by others. Confidence is the result of self-belief, self-respect, and showing up for yourself every single day, no matter the setbacks, failures, or disappointments that come your way. Imagine waking up every morning feeling unstoppable. Imagine knowing, deep in your bones, that you can handle whatever life throws at you. The challenges, you're ready. The hard work, you embrace it. The setbacks, you know they're temporary, and they won't define you. That's the power of unbreakable confidence. It doesn't mean you don't feel fear. It doesn't mean you're always sure of yourself. It means you act in spite of fear, that you're willing to try even when you don't feel fully prepared. Confidence is about showing up, taking risks, and believing that you are worthy of everything you desire, no matter the obstacles. Every time you face something difficult and push through, even when your heart races and doubts try to pull you back, you're building your confidence. Each small success, every moment you don't give up, builds on itself. And eventually, you start to see yourself differently. You realize that you are capable of so much more than you ever thought. But here's the catch. If you keep doubting yourself, if you allow fear to dictate your actions, if you let failure make you question your worth, you're going to keep holding yourself back. It's time to stop thinking of yourself as less than. It's time to stop hiding from opportunities. Because the truth is, the world doesn't owe you anything. The opportunities are out there, but you have to be brave enough to reach for them. You see, unbreakable confidence comes from trust. Trust in your ability to handle whatever happens. Trust in your own skills, knowledge, and judgment. The more you act on this trust, the more it grows. The more you show up, the more you take risks, the more you learn, the more confident you become. And the key to building that confidence is realizing that it's not a one-time event. It's not something you achieve in a moment. It's a continual process. It's about waking up every single day and saying, I believe in myself. It's about choosing courage over comfort, action over hesitation, and progress over perfection. Confidence isn't about waiting for everything to fall into place perfectly. It's about believing that you can handle whatever comes your way and learning as you go. Too many people walk around doubting themselves, thinking that they're not good enough, smart enough, or talented enough. But here's the kicker: no one is born confident. No one comes into this world fully prepared for everything life throws at them. Confidence is something you have to develop, and it's built on the foundation of your actions, your thoughts, and your mindset. You don't get confidence by waiting for the right moment. You get it by showing up, even when it's hard. You get it by being willing to fail and trying again, over and over, until it clicks. Confidence is about embracing the process, understanding that growth isn't linear, and knowing that each step forward, no matter how small, is a victory. You'll have doubts. Everyone does. You'll face moments where you feel uncertain, moments when you're tempted to pull back, moments when you wonder if you're good enough. But those are the moments when your confidence is truly tested. It's easy to feel confident when everything's going smoothly. But it's when things get tough that confidence becomes a choice. And every time you choose to face fear, to take action despite your doubts, you are strengthening your confidence. It's like building a muscle. The more you use it, the stronger it gets. Real confidence comes from within. It's not based on what others think of you or what the world throws your way. It's based on your ability to trust yourself. It's knowing that even if you fail, you will stand up again and try harder. It's about accepting your flaws and imperfections, knowing that they don't make you less worthy or less capable. Confidence doesn't come from perfection. It comes from resilience. It comes from the understanding that you are always growing, always improving, and that you are enough just as you are. Every challenge you face, every obstacle you overcome, is proof of your strength. And the more you recognize that, the more your confidence will grow. It's also crucial to understand that confidence doesn't mean arrogance. Arrogance comes from insecurity. It's the need to prove something to others, to inflate your ego because deep down, you don't believe in yourself. Confidence, on the other hand, is quiet. It's not about showing off or proving something to others. It's about knowing your worth and not needing to shout it from the rooftops. Confident people don't have to tell you how great they are. You can see it in their actions, in the way they carry themselves, in the way they handle challenges. Confidence is magnetic. It draws people in because it's genuine, it's real, and it's built on a foundation of self-respect, not ego. The path to building unbreakable confidence isn't a straight line. You will face setbacks. You will have days when you feel down, when you question yourself, when you want to give up. But here's the thing, confidence doesn't mean you never doubt yourself. It means you move forward anyway. It means you acknowledge your fears and insecurities but choose to act in spite of them. It's about becoming comfortable with discomfort, about understanding that growth often requires pushing through the tough times. And it's about taking pride in every step of the journey, no matter how small. Confidence isn't about being perfect. It's about being willing to show up and keep going, no matter what. So let me ask you this, what's stopping you from stepping into your full potential? What's stopping you from going after everything you've ever wanted? The only thing standing in your way is the belief that you're not capable. The only thing stopping you is the fear of failure. But failure is not the end. It's part of the process. It's a lesson, not a defeat. And every time you keep going, every time you push through your doubts, you become more confident. You build that unbreakable belief in yourself. You are capable of far more than you realize. But you have to believe it first. You have to start acting like it. You have to embrace the journey, accept the struggles, and trust that you have everything you need inside of you. The world needs your gifts, your talents, your unique perspective. But none of that can come to life if you don't believe in yourself enough to put it out there. Start now. Build that unbreakable confidence and let the world see the amazing things you're capable of achieving. Chapter 8. Mastering Relationships. The Power of Connections. Relationships are not just part of life, they are life. When we think about success, we often focus on goals, accomplishments, and personal development. But what so many people miss is the fact that success, fulfillment, and happiness are deeply intertwined with the quality of the relationships we build. Relationships are not just about what you know, they're about who you know, and more importantly, how you show up for the people around you. It's about creating connections that nurture your growth and the growth of others. The way you interact with people, the energy you bring to a room, and how you treat others will determine not only the strength of your personal relationships, but also the impact you have on the world. You see, we all have dreams and aspirations, but how often do we realize that the people we meet, the friends we make, and the colleagues we collaborate with will be the ones to help us get there? Relationships are bridges to opportunity, keys to success, and lifelines when the going gets tough. But many of us get so caught up in our own worlds that we forget the simple yet profound truth: we need others, and others need us. No matter how driven or ambitious you are, without the right relationships, your success will be limited. It doesn't matter how talented you are, how many skills you have, or how much you know if you don't have the right people supporting you, guiding you, and pushing you forward. And the beauty is that the right relationships aren't just about what you can take, but what you can give. At the heart of every meaningful relationship is trust. Trust is the foundation upon which everything else is built. Without trust, there is no real connection. Without trust, people won't feel comfortable being vulnerable, being open, or being authentic. And when you can't show up as your true self, relationships are shallow and transactional, not deeply fulfilling. Trust is cultivated through consistency, reliability, and transparency. If you want to build strong, lasting relationships, you must be someone others can count on. You need to show up for the people in your life, not just when it's convenient, but when they truly need you. Real connections aren't built on perfect moments or grand gestures. They are built on the everyday actions, the small things you do consistently that show people you care. But let's not mistake proximity for connection. You can be surrounded by people and still feel lonely. Being physically close to someone doesn't automatically create an emotional bond. A real connection happens when you can truly listen, understand, and empathize with another person's experience. It happens when you are present, not just physically but emotionally. So many people spend their time scrolling through their phones, staring at screens, and thinking about the next thing they need to do, all while the people right in front of them are waiting to be truly seen and heard. To master relationships, you have to be willing to show up, not just in body, but in mind and heart as well. When you give people your attention, when you listen without judgment or distraction, when you genuinely care about their well-being, that's when trust is born. And when trust is present, everything else follows. It's easy to say that you want strong relationships, but building them takes effort. It takes being vulnerable, and that's something most of us avoid because it feels risky. But vulnerability is where the magic happens. It's in being open, honest, and real that we create the strongest bonds. When you allow yourself to be vulnerable, you're telling others, I trust you, I'm not perfect, and I'm not trying to be, but I'm here with you, and I want to connect on a deeper level. That vulnerability fosters intimacy and closeness. The more you embrace it, the more you'll notice how relationships transform from being shallow, transactional encounters to meaningful, fulfilling connections that nourish both parties. But vulnerability doesn't just apply to the relationships you have with others. It applies to the relationship you have with yourself. How many times do you avoid being honest with yourself about your feelings, your desires, or your goals? How often do you ignore your intuition, your needs, or your dreams because you're afraid of failing or looking foolish? The relationship you have with yourself is the most important relationship you'll ever have. If you can't be honest with yourself, how can you expect others to be honest with you? If you don't trust yourself, how can you trust anyone else? Mastering relationships begins with mastering the relationship you have with yourself. When you can be vulnerable with yourself, when you can look in the mirror and say, this is who I am, flaws and all, and I'm okay with it, you open the door to deeper, more authentic connections with others. One of the most important aspects of relationships is learning how to give. When you are in a relationship, whether it's with a friend, a family member, or a colleague, your role isn't to take, it's to give. Not in a way that drains you or leaves you feeling unappreciated, but in a way that supports the other person's growth and well-being. Giving is about being present, being thoughtful, and being there when it matters most. It's not about keeping score or expecting something in return. When you give without strings attached, without expecting to be compensated, that's when relationships deepen. That's when people begin to trust you, value you, and want to be around you more. But giving doesn't mean being a doormat or sacrificing your own needs for the sake of others. It means knowing when to step in, knowing when to listen, and knowing when to offer a helping hand. It means being someone who adds value to the lives of others, who lifts them up and encourages them to be the best version of themselves. Another key aspect of mastering relationships is understanding the power of forgiveness. We all make mistakes. We all have moments where we hurt others, or others hurt us. But holding on to grudges, resentments, or anger only poisons the relationship. Forgiveness is not about condoning bad behavior. It's not about letting someone off the hook for their actions. It's about freeing yourself from the burden of holding on to pain. It's about releasing the negative emotions that weigh you down so you can move forward. When you forgive, you create space for healing, for growth, and for new possibilities. You allow the relationship to evolve, to move past the hurt and into a place of understanding and compassion. Forgiveness is a gift you give not only to others, but to yourself as well. The most powerful relationships in life are those that are built on mutual respect. Respect for one another's boundaries, values, and differences. When you respect someone, you acknowledge their humanity, their individuality, and their right to their own thoughts, opinions, and choices. Respect creates an environment where both people feel valued, heard, and understood. Without respect, relationships become toxic, filled with judgment, criticism, and control. But with respect, you build a foundation of equality and understanding that allows both people to grow and thrive together. If you want to master relationships, it's essential to be intentional about the connections you form. Surround yourself with people who elevate you, who challenge you to grow, and who support you through thick and thin. Don't waste your energy on relationships that drain you or bring out the worst in you. Instead, invest in relationships that inspire you to be better, that push you to reach your potential, and that nurture your growth. The quality of your relationships will directly affect the quality of your life. So choose wisely, and always remember that the most important relationships are the ones you build with integrity, trust, and love. As you go through life, remember that relationships are not just about what you can take from others. They are about what you can give. And in giving, you'll find that you receive more than you ever imagined in return. Real connections have the power to change everything. They have the power to lift you up, to help you see things from a different perspective, and to push you to become the best version of yourself. Relationships are the true currency of life. They are the things that will matter most in the end, so invest in them wisely, build them with care, and watch as they transform your life in ways you never thought possible. Chapter 9. Turning Failure into Fuel. Life will test you. You will face moments of doubt, obstacles that seem impossible to overcome, and circumstances that will make you question your path. But in those moments, when you feel like giving up, remember this: success doesn't come from the moments you're comfortable. It comes from the moments you push through the pain, the moments when you keep going, even when everything inside you is telling you to stop. Perseverance is the key that unlocks doors to your dreams. It is the silent force that pushes you forward, step by step, even when the road ahead looks daunting. When we talk about perseverance, we're not just talking about the ability to keep going when things are easy. No, true perseverance is about continuing to move forward when it feels like the universe is conspiring against you. It's about finding strength in your struggle, courage in the face of fear, and hope when everything else around you seems dark. Perseverance is not just a trait, it's a mindset, a deep-rooted belief that no matter how hard things get, you will find a way through. It's about turning the impossible into the possible, and doing it over and over again until your dreams are no longer dreams, they're your reality. Most people quit when things get hard. They hit a roadblock, face a setback, or fall short of a goal, and they throw in the towel. But those who persevere, those who keep moving forward, even when every muscle in their body is screaming to stop, they're the ones who make it. They're the ones who achieve greatness. The difference between those who succeed and those who don't is not talent or luck, but the willingness to keep going, to endure the pain, and to push through when others would give up. Success isn't reserved for the ones who never face obstacles. It's reserved for those who rise every time they fall, who face adversity head-on and say, "I will not be defeated. I will not quit. I will keep going, until I reach the finish line. It's easy to get caught up in the allure of instant gratification. We live in a world where everything is available at the touch of a button. But let me tell you something, the real lasting achievements, the ones that will fill you with pride, are the ones that take time, effort, and above all, perseverance. It's the long nights of hard work, the countless hours spent refining your skills, the moments of failure that you turn into lessons, and the unwavering belief that no matter how long it takes, you will succeed. Perseverance isn't always glamorous. It doesn't come with a crowd of cheering fans or instant rewards. In fact, many times, it's a lonely journey. There will be times when you're working in silence, when no one is watching, when you feel like your efforts aren't being recognized, and you begin to question whether it's all worth it. But that's when perseverance is most powerful. When you push through the tough moments without the external validation, that's when you build character. That's when you prove to yourself that you are capable of achieving anything, regardless of how long it takes. True perseverance doesn't need praise. It thrives in the quiet moments of self-discipline and hard work. It's about showing up every single day, putting in the effort, and trusting that the results will come. It's about trusting yourself, trusting the process, and knowing that each small step brings you closer to your goal. There's a common misconception that perseverance is about working harder and harder without ever resting, but that's not true. Perseverance is not about pushing yourself to the point of burnout. It's about resilience. It's about bouncing back after every setback, learning from your mistakes, and coming back stronger. Sometimes, perseverance means taking a step back, re-evaluating your strategy, and adjusting your approach. It's about having the emotional intelligence to recognize when you need rest, when you need to regroup, and when you need to keep pushing forward. It's about being adaptable and finding ways to keep going even when things don't go as planned. One of the most powerful things about perseverance is that it's not just about personal achievement, it's about the impact you have on others. When you persevere, you inspire those around you to do the same. Your determination becomes contagious. Your resilience becomes a blueprint for others to follow. You show people that it's okay to fail, that failure isn't the end, it's just part of the process. You teach others that persistence, not perfection, is what leads to success. When you keep going, even when it's hard, you become a beacon of hope for those who are struggling, and you show them that if you can do it, so can they. You become a living example of the power of perseverance, and that's something far more valuable than any personal success you could achieve. But perseverance isn't just about getting through tough times, it's also about having the vision to keep going when things are going well. When you're on top, when everything seems easy, that's when you need perseverance the most. Success has a funny way of testing our ability to stay grounded, to keep our eyes on the prize and not get complacent. Just because you're winning today doesn't mean you can stop pushing tomorrow. Perseverance is about maintaining that hunger, that drive, that relentless pursuit of your goals even when you've already achieved a level of success. It's about never getting too comfortable, about always striving for more, and about knowing that your journey is far from over. If you want to keep climbing, if you want to keep evolving, you need the same determination, the same drive, and the same perseverance that got you here in the first place. And when you do reach that moment of success, when you finally achieve the things you've been working so hard for, the sense of accomplishment will be unlike anything you've ever experienced. It will be sweet, yes, but it will also be humbling. You'll look back on the long, hard road that brought you here, and you'll realize that it wasn't the destination that mattered most, it was the journey. It was every setback, every challenge, every moment of doubt that built you, shaped you, and made you the person who could achieve your dreams. And that's when you truly understand that perseverance isn't just about the end result, it's about the person you become along the way. Perseverance is about trusting the process, even when you can't see the results. It's about showing up every day, doing the work, and knowing that every effort counts. It's about finding strength in your struggles, courage in your fear, and hope in your darkest moments. It's about refusing to let the obstacles in your path define you. You are not the challenges you face. You are the person who rises above them. And when you do, you'll look back and realize that it wasn't the easy road that led you to success. It was the road that tested you, the road that made you fight for every inch, the road that made you stronger. That's where true victory lies. So the next time you face a challenge, remember this: you have everything you need to overcome it. You have the strength, the resilience, and the perseverance to keep going. It may not be easy, and it may not happen overnight, but if you keep pushing forward, if you refuse to give up, you will succeed. Because success is not about being perfect, it's about being persistent. It's about never giving up, no matter how many times you fall. It's about getting back up, dusting yourself off, and going at it again. So take a deep breath, keep moving forward, and remember that your perseverance will carry you farther than you ever thought possible. Chapter 10. Becoming the master of your life. There comes a point in every person's life when they must make a choice to live by default, allowing life to happen to them, or to live by design, taking full control of their actions, thoughts, and circumstances. The truth is, life isn't something that simply unfolds, it's something you actively create. And if you want to master your life, you need to step into your power, take responsibility, and create a life that aligns with your highest purpose. This isn't about luck or chance, it's about intention, effort, and unwavering dedication. Mastering your life isn't just about achieving success in one area, it's about aligning every aspect of your being, from your mindset to your actions, to create harmony and success across all dimensions of your life. It's about becoming a person who doesn't just react to life, but shapes it and guides it toward their desires and dreams. And while the path to mastery isn't always smooth or easy, it is always worth it. It is, after all, the only path that leads to true fulfillment. Imagine waking up every day knowing that you have the power to shape your circumstances, your mindset, and your destiny. You are no longer at the mercy of random events or outside forces. Instead, you are the creator, the designer, the architect of your life. Everything that happens in your world is a direct result of the choices you make, the words you speak, and the energy you put into everything you do. Mastery is about making deliberate, conscious decisions every single day to live in alignment with the person you were always meant to be. The first step in becoming the master of your life is understanding that you are not a passive observer of your own story. You are the writer, the director, and the actor. Every thought you have, every action you take, and every word you speak is a part of the narrative of your life. To truly master your life, you must first understand the immense power that comes with that responsibility. Life is not just about taking action, it's about taking inspired, deliberate action. Too many people drift through life without truly understanding the significance of their actions. They move from one task to the next, reacting to circumstances, living based on the habits and routines they've picked up along the way. But when you choose to become the master of your life, you are no longer living by default. You are living by design. When you decide to take control of your life, you are essentially stepping into a new level of awareness. You become aware of the choices you make on a daily basis, and you realize that every choice has a ripple effect. One choice can change everything. A simple decision to wake up 30 minutes earlier can set the tone for an entire day of productivity. A decision to speak kindly to yourself can change your entire self-perception. A decision to show up for someone else can create a connection that lasts a lifetime. But here's the thing, mastering your life isn't just about making big, bold decisions. It's about the accumulation of small, consistent choices that lead to extraordinary results. It's in the tiny, seemingly insignificant decisions you make every single day that your life is truly shaped. And when you commit to making those choices with intention, you start to realize the power you hold within you. Being the master of your life means taking responsibility for everything that happens to you, good or bad. The moment you accept responsibility for your circumstances is the moment you reclaim your power. It is a difficult truth to accept, especially when life throws challenges your way, but it is the key to unlocking your potential. When you stop blaming the world or the people around you for your circumstances, you begin to take control. And when you take control, you stop being at the mercy of circumstances, and instead, you begin to direct the course of your life. This doesn't mean that life won't throw curveballs your way. It will. But when you are the master of your life, you don't let those curveballs throw you off track. Instead, you learn to adjust, adapt, and keep moving forward with resilience and determination. You understand that every obstacle is an opportunity in disguise, a chance to learn, grow, and become even stronger. One of the most powerful tools for mastering your life is developing mental discipline. Without discipline, your life will lack direction. You'll find yourself reacting to every situation, allowing your emotions to control your actions. But when you develop mental discipline, you learn to choose your responses rather than being dictated by your feelings. This doesn't mean suppressing your emotions or ignoring them. It means recognizing that you are not your emotions. You are the one who chooses how to respond to those emotions. When you master your mind, you create the foundation for success in all areas of your life. You stop getting caught up in negative thought patterns and self-doubt, and instead, you begin to think with clarity and purpose. You become focused on what you want, not what you fear. You develop the ability to control your thoughts, your actions, and your reactions. And when you do that, you begin to create the life you truly desire. Another essential element of mastering your life is taking consistent action toward your goals. It's easy to get inspired and make a plan, but the true test of mastery comes when you take action, even when it's difficult or uncomfortable. This is where most people fail. They get excited about the idea of success, but when faced with the grind of daily effort, they give up. To be the master of your life, you must commit to showing up, day in and day out. It doesn't matter if you're tired or frustrated. It doesn't matter if things aren't moving as quickly as you'd like. The key is consistency. When you take consistent action toward your goals, you begin to build momentum. And over time, that momentum becomes unstoppable. At the core of mastering your life is the ability to understand and control your emotions. Emotional mastery is not about suppressing your feelings or pretending to be perfect. It's about learning how to navigate your emotions so they don't control you. When you master your emotions, you create a sense of inner peace and stability. You stop allowing your emotions to dictate your actions, and instead, you begin to respond with wisdom and grace. This level of emotional intelligence allows you to handle life's challenges with calm and composure. Whether you're dealing with a difficult person or a challenging situation, you are able to remain centered and make decisions that align with your highest self. Emotional mastery doesn't mean never feeling anger, sadness, or frustration. It means recognizing those emotions, understanding them, and choosing how to respond. Becoming the master of your life also means learning to prioritize your time and energy. Too many people waste precious time on things that don't serve them, whether it's mindless scrolling on social media, engaging in unproductive conversations, or getting lost in distractions. But when you master your life, you understand that your time and energy are your most valuable assets. You begin to invest them in things that move you closer to your goals rather than things that hold you back. When you take control of your time and energy, you free yourself from the chaos and distractions of life. You learn to say no to things that aren't aligned with your purpose, and yes to things that propel you forward. You stop letting life control you, and instead you start controlling your life. Ultimately, mastering your life is about taking responsibility for your own growth and transformation. It's about knowing that your success or failure is not determined by the outside world. It is determined by the choices you make every single day. It's about waking up each morning with the understanding that today is another opportunity to take control, to improve, and to move one step closer to the person you were always meant to be. So what does it mean to be the master of your life? It means living with purpose, intention, and integrity. It means taking full responsibility for your thoughts, actions, and outcomes. It means being disciplined, focused, and committed to your growth. It means making decisions that align with your highest self and choosing to live a life of fulfillment, success, and inner peace. You have the power to create the life you desire. The choice is yours. It's time to step into your power and become the master of your life.